All right, welcome everyone to season two, the world premiere of season two of Breaking Bread with Corey. How's everybody doing? This is an exciting time. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. We are celebrating a great celebration and just a lot of things. We have a lot of great guests. We are going to be catching up with a lot of familiar faces and some new faces. So I'm really excited about this. Let's see. Um, hello. And I'm really excited to rejoin after a little summer hiatus. I got to spend a little time with the family and the kiddo. We did some things to basically just catch up with some family time. It was really important to kind of reset and stop drinking wine for a while. I was overloaded with wine, but it was great. It was great time to kind of recharge and get reconnected with family and just share that quality time. And for those of you parents that are going through it, my kiddo is starting school next week. He's 3. He's going to be going through. He has a slight speech delay, so he's going to be going through a program that is starting that's going to assist him with that. So we're really excited, and I think it's going to be great to interact with all these other kids. But other than that, it's just been really a really fun time to kind of reconnect with myself as well. And I will actually let people know that today is also a great day for not only Hispanic Heritage Month, but we're also celebrating for me is Kick Butt Day because I am uh, doing a charity event for the fight against for kids against cancer, and so I actually have some information down below if you'd like to donate today. These donations actually go directly to cancer research against the fight against cancer in kids. And I'm pledging to do 200 miles. I think I'm at 140 miles right now and trying to raise at least $500. But there's thousands, not just hundreds, but there's thousands of cyclists across the country that are participating in this event. And you could actually go onto the link. You can see the link below. It's scrolling across the screen right now, and you can donate to right now. And the one thing that's cool about donating today is the Great Cycle Challenge will actually match your donation. So whether you do $5, $10, $15, they'll match it. Match any denomination that you make today. So if you can, please donate. And also, we are fundraising for another extreme organization, a vital organization, especially here in Oregon. It is Oy Vey Oregon. They are the nonprofit organization that assist wine stewards in continuing education, helping them continue their education from the vineyards and going into the tasting rooms, even getting their wine set or their W set or their quartermaster sommelier certifications. So you can donate. All the information is right below. But thank you all for joining us. I'm really excited. I'm going to get this program going with our first guest. Now, this first guest, I cannot say enough about her. And every one of these guests, I feel like that I've not only met really good, hardworking people, but not just acquaintances, but I call them friends. I call them family members. I think this is something that I always feel that we are always going to have a way to connect. And just a few minutes ago, we were all on together, kind of getting ourselves geared up and ready to go. And it was like family. Even for some that haven't met each other, it's like being in a family environment. And this is what the wine industry is, whether it's the wine, beer, or the spirits industry. This is a great representation. All four of these ambassadors that are going to be sharing their stories with you and sharing their time with you today have amazing and valuable stories to give. So I'm going to kick things off right now. Let me see if I could do this correctly. I'm going to go off and I'm going to come here and I'm going to whoop. I just disappeared, didn't I? We have the one, the only. Let's see right here, Miss Cecilia Enriquez. Let's go. Let's bring her on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Woo!
Hi, hello
I just
everyone.
disappeared.
Gotta love technology.
You
There you
gotta
are.
love
You're back.
technology. Yeah. We are going to be working out kinks as we speak. I am not only the host, but I am the producer, the director. I'm everything, the moderator. So it's going to be really fun tonight. Cecilia, how you doing?
I'm exhausted, but doing great. Can't complain. Another harvest is here, and it's we're right smack in the middle of it. So I apologize for my looks of exhaustion.
No, you look great. You look great. So tell since the last time we spoke, since the last time we got together and broke bread together, tell us about what's going on. How is the harvest? What's it looking like for you?
Well, it's so far so good. Grapes have been coming in beautifully, and I mean the color, the taste, the numbers have been all fantastic. It's going smoothly so far. We've had a lot of constant weather, so that has helped with it being kind of a constant flow and not, there was a couple of years ago that everything came in at once, so it was just kind of like you couldn't catch a breath. But the varietals that I make, I have a nice little break in between. I'm halfway through harvest, so that's nice. I'm just waiting on some Sauv Blanc, some Cab Franc, and some Tannat, so that's exciting. But yeah, I can't complain. I mean, it's been pretty good. A little smoky air over here, but thankfully, knock on wood, no actual fires nearby. So I can't complain. As far as harvests go, it's pretty good. I'm a little out of practice compared to last year and the lack of last year. But yeah, it's going so far so good. Things are great.
Wow, it sounds it's that's really good to hear when you hear that. Hey, there's still things that are getting produced. I've heard all across the board, even here. I'm in Oregon, and so hearing all the inconsistencies, what's going on, where there certain parts of the valleys are they've been hit by smoke or they've been hit by heat. But it's really good to hear that you're actually still producing a good amount of quantity.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I'm speaking for my own grapes. There's been a little weird numbers issue where the grapes are tasting like they're ripe, but the, acid or sugar isn't there. But so far, my stuff has been great, and I know that there's been inconsistency depending on where you're located here in Sonoma County. I can't speak for Napa because I'm not there, but and maybe someone later can touch upon that because I totally out all over that all about this. But yeah, I mean, certain vineyards compared to previous years are harvesting on time. Other vineyards are harvesting early, and then there's other vineyards that are super delayed when they're already are harvested by now. So it's kind of been a little chaotic in that sense of like, oh, I thought this, the numbers were showing they were here, but then the fruit came in underripe or, whatever. There's a lot of different variables with it. But I am personally very happy with my fruit that has come in.
Good. So you haven't had any like takeness from any smoke or any any fires or anything like that. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
And
my asthma hates me. My asthma hates me. The grapes are happy. There's not been nothing showing in the vineyard so far. Knock on
wood. and what have you picked so far? What have you grabbed so far?
So we harvested our estate property September 5th. So that goes for I have a rosé Pinot, and then I have a Pinot Noir from the property that I make. I have brought in my Muscat so far. What else do I have? Oh, my Tempranillo is in, and my Tempranillo Rosé is in as well.
Awesome. That is, and everything seems like it's going to be tasting just right on.
It's been delicious. I mean, smelling the fermentations and tasting it, the fruit and where it is right now, it's really beautiful. They're going to be great wines. I can't wait.
Awesome. And, I know there's a couple of people that are so influential in your life. And I know we talked about a lot about them during our first talk, our first visit when we first broke bread with each other in the spring. But tell us about mom and pop. How are mom and pop doing?
Oh my gosh, they're doing great. Although it's one of those things where they said they're going to come out and visit and they haven't yet. So if they're watching this, maybe that'll motivate them to go online and book some tickets to come out here. So I'm born and raised in New Jersey. My parents are still back in New Jersey. My dad's a practicing physician and he keeps saying he's going to retire, but and he kept saying the last few years, 5 more years, 5 more years. And then this last holiday season, he was like 7 more years. So I'm like, wait a minute, we're going in the wrong direction. My mom, on the other hand, every time she comes out here, she brings more and more suitcases with her. So I have a feeling she's just going to show up and be like, all right, I'm permanently out here now. But they're amazing. I mean, I'm first generation here. My dad is just, he followed in his dad's footsteps. My grandfather was groundbreaking for medicine. He was a cardiovascular thoracic surgeon. So he was at the time one of those willing to put in pacemakers and handle the human heart. And he's got crazy stories about how he would practice on dogs and cats to get, more confident and familiar. I know it's crazy, especially in today's age when you're like, you can't use animals. Yeah. But he paved the way for us here. And my dad followed in his footsteps and has made his own way in his own right. And so I have big shoes to fill. So I'm over here hustling, trying to get my name out there.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job. And, one of the things that I always talk about that's really about the core, not only we learn lessons. I always say I learned a lot from my mom. I was with my mom a lot. I'm definitely a mama's boy. But my dad was a truck driver and I'm only 5'6" and he was 6'2". And wow. I always thought he was just this giant, and he had those hard, steel toe work boots, and I always just remember being younger, him walking. I could hear his truck. A lot of the time he had, at one point he had his own truck, his own diesel. And he would come down the street and he would park it right in front of the house. And I would just be like, oh, Dad's home. This guy, this is it, But he taught us so many great values. My mom taught us so many great values. And so we have that. And it's so great that your parents are part of your winemaking culture, what where you got your soul from. The other, and that's really cool. And I always say the other people that are part of that too is your partners, your significant others. And, how are you and your hubby doing? How is it working out with the harvest? And is he working alongside with you or?
So it's interesting for us because most people, have one winery and they're a husband and wife team. We have 2 wineries between the 2 of us, and we have the same farming philosophy, very different winemaking styles, and it never even crossed our minds to consolidate our wineries when we got together, get engaged, and then, now married. We do work alongside of each other. We are probably together. I think maybe I should probably say this. I think have been apart in the last 10 years, probably a total of 2 weeks combined. So we are constantly together. We travel a bunch together. We help each other out in the winery and, with tasting events and stuff like that. But I can tell you that at the winery, we're fortunate that we have a neighbor that allows us to use their equipment if we don't have it. And if, one of us is busy with something, we can go over there and borrow theirs because they're a much bigger winery than we are. And there have been times where I go in there and I'm like, can I just custom crush with you instead of having my own space with my husband, and right. Custom crushing means that you're operating in somebody else's winery under their license there. And there's definitely times where I go in there and I'm like, we're going to get divorced. Like this is not going to make it through the service. Of course I'm joking. I love him dearly. Like I know that, and we don't hide our bickering. I mean, we will snap at each other. We will bicker in front of other people because we're always together. But then, give it an hour or 2 and we're back to being like, oh my gosh, you have to try this. Like, smell this. Like, what do you think? And it all, it quickly kind of vanishes. But We're doing great. He just landed a huge deal with a winery on the East Coast, and so we're celebrating. And actually, he ditched me for a bachelor party, so he's currently in Nashville. So I'm handling his stuff on top of my stuff this last week, which is another reason why I'm exhausted.
Well, it's always good. It's always good to have those little those little quarrels that you have. I met my wife. We were ex Disney cast members, and so that's how we met. And we work side by side together. And now with everything that happened with COVID and everything, it's like we work side by side together. But it's like, man, we spend this time together, and it's like, but we get through it. We get through it, and everything is good. And it's nice to have somebody else that you can lean on. You can lean on each other to work it out. And I know one person or one individual that you really lean on a lot. And I got to do this. This is so amazing. Tell us about this. Tell us about your dog, Riley.
Well, Riley is just an inspiration and really a humbling story, but a very determined little dog. Riley's doing great. He's going to be 10 years old this winter. And unfortunately, we let him, they run around. We have Tyler and Riley, and they run around the vineyard. We have 8.5 acres in Forestville. And this one time we're rushing out of the house and he wasn't coming back. My husband was waiting for a fridge to get delivered. And Tyler came back, but Riley didn't. And usually it's the other way around. Riley is a better listener than Tyler is. And so I thought that was weird, but I was late for an appointment with my mom. So we left, and I get the phone call that Riley is at the vet and he had been run over. And, they didn't have the equipment, the emergency, vet equipment needed to help him. So I had to go pick him up and take him over to a different hospital. Yeah, so I don't wish that on anybody. The poor little dog, was in shock. I'm trying to drive and crying at the same time, but trying not to get into an accident, because then, my husband would have been like, oh my gosh, I can't handle two things happening at once. So when we got there, we didn't know if he was going to survive or not. And the surgeon, who happened to have a killer resume, he was chief of surgery at UC Davis for 14 years. And he's like, in my 30+ year career, I've never seen a broken pelvis this bad. He's like, but right now I can't tell you what to do. I'm just going to say, I think I can fix him. I can help him, but I won't know exactly what he needs until I operate and know what's going on inside. So long story short, it was a month-long process, 2 surgeries. He's down to 3 legs. We had to amputate. And my husband and I, we got into wine around the same time. Like I said, didn't cross our minds to consolidate, but we have a lot of mutual clients, and they were expecting us to make a wine together or do something together, a collaboration together. So we started to make this little rosé project, and Riley's Rosé, and we didn't know what to call it. We knew we were going to use the V and the E. His wine brand's called Vocal Cellars. My brand and last name is Enriquez, and his last name is von Sternberg. So let's just do VE. And we were playing around with what the back would say and all this stuff. As soon as Riley's accident happened, we knew we were going to dedicate the wine to him. So he now has his own wine. He is a happy-go-lucky. We brought him home in between the 2 surgeries, and he found a way to walk on his front 2 legs to get into the vineyard. That's how much he loves being a little vineyard dog. I can tell you that I know why people don't get cute, white, fluffy dogs in vineyards, because everything sticks to them. And of course, he likes to get down and dirty. So I have lots of photos of him coming back completely covered in mud or in burrs or whatever. But yeah, he's got his own wine now. We brought him to the bottling. We took a bunch of photos with him. If you come and taste here, there's a good chance that you'll meet him. He just loves his life. He loves running around the vineyard, and I'm glad that it was a happy ending for us, but it definitely was touch and go for a while. And, now we give back with this Riley's Rosé. We partnered up with the local little dog rescue, small like us, and doing great. Every 20% of the proceeds of that bottle of wine go to supporting that rescue. So it's kind of a fun little tribute to our determined little pup.
Oh, that's great. Well, let's see.
And he might make a debut at some point. You might hear him in the background.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that is great that you could pay tribute to Riley by doing such a great wine.
Mhm.
That's it's really cool. I love the bottle, and I love his happy smile. Um, but yeah, you always have, like, we have two cats, and it's like it's always cool to have your little companions there.
Mhm.
And I see it a lot throughout, like walking through the vineyards. Different wineries have their dogs and stuff, and it's really cool. So tribute, let's pay tribute to Riley today. Give him a little cheers today. um so, Cecilia, thank you so much for sharing your time. We are going to bring Cecilia back in just a few minutes. And now we are going to chat with our very next guest. All right, here we go.
Hey guys, so today my dad let me sign my very first bottle of wine of Red Blend 13 Hermanos of 2013. So let's get started. So I'm going to sign my name and my last name. And my last name at the bottom. There you have it, guys. Who wants to buy this bottle?
All right, our very next guest. We have our very next guest, and here they are, side by side. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi. It's a cute start.
That was a cute start.
We have the Celerio group right there, the Celerio family. How are you guys doing?
We're
Good.
great, thank you.
So, Mario, I see you have a lovely lady right next to you. Can you introduce who's right next to you?
So my wife, Marta.
Hi.
Hello, Martha. How you guys doing
Hi.
today? How's the weather where you're at?
It's a little chilly,
Yeah.
but handleable, I guess. With a little coat or sweater. It's great though. It feels good after the heat.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. And Mario, how are you doing? How are you doing since the last time we spoke? I love your wines, as I love every one of you that is being represented today. All the ambassadors that are being represented today. Your wines are amazing. And so, Mario, how's everything going with your wines? How's the harvest going?
Good. So my harvest is over actually. Right behind me,
Mhm.
I have a fermenting the 2021 Gamay, and this year I have a little bit of Petisera, Calisto
Awesome.
Petit. Yeah.
So
So
you're
I'm
doing a
pretty
little
much
bit.
done with my harvest.
Nice. And how many cases are you actually producing, Mario?
I make only 2 barrels. It's very,
Two
very
barrel.
small. Yeah.
So out of those two barrels, for a lot of consumers that don't know, how many bottles come out of each barrel? Just an
We
estimate.
can get 300 bottles per barrel. Yeah, it's
Very.
very small. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exclusive. Boutique.
So you have small production, very unique quality of wines being distributed. Now, how do you get your wines distributed if it's such a small amount?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's pretty much, Instagram. A lot of
Yeah.
just people that have known him from the start. They come, they visit us, they have a great tasting, and we make friendship from there. And they are so interested in, hey, what are you making this year? Or what are you making next? And it's really nice to create that friendship, and get those people to then tell others, hey, I know a great wine in Calistoga, and you should try it and so forth. So pretty much right now, Instagram is our base.
Yeah.
We have reached out to some of the local restaurants in Calistoga. We were fortunate to get into one of them, which is a really good start, but we're trying to move forward and knock more doors per se. But slowly, we'll see where Mario gets.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing to hear what you do to get your product out there. I mean, it's everybody's trying to do something, especially during these times where are very inconsistent. You're going up and down, and trying to figure out ways to stay ahead, stay alive in the game. But that's great to hear that you're producing some really great varietals, but also a lot of times what really struck me the last time that we spoke, Mario, was the unique varietals that you're producing. I know you're doing like some Gamay. You said the Petite Sirah. Tell us out what is happening right now. Like, what are your current focuses like as far as your releases? What are your releases going to be like
for last year? So actually, we have
for the
two
coming
releases
year.
here. So this is one. I don't know if you can see the label right there. It's a 2019 Syrah.
Yeah.
It's hard to see. I'm holding my phone.
It looks good.
And then the other one.
And that is the other one is a Chardonnay 2019. It's Contra Costa Chardonnay. And then actually we have another one, really cool one. This is a Chantal Chardonnay Port.
Ooh.
So you guys can see right there.
So that's a very unique one.
This is a very, very unique wine.
It's sweet.
It's nice and sweet. That's a dessert wine. I only make 10 cases of this. So it's very, very small production. It's very exclusive.
That is awesome. That looks delicious. How is it drinking? What would you pair that with? What would you pair that with?
It's a dessert wine.
Yeah.
So something, anything dessert, I would highly recommend it. It hits you at the beginning, but then it becomes really smooth in your palate, and you just want a little bit more, and then you want a little bit more.
Our part is to start.
It is. Our sister, my sister-in-law was here the other day, and she started with a little cup. Let me try it. She sipped it, and it's like, oh, it's really good. I don't drink wine, but it's really good. And then she poured another one, and another one. And we're like, wait, you're gonna drive? I'm like, I can handle it. But she was so into it. It's like, man, this is so good, and it doesn't feel like
strong.
Even
this one has 18% alcohol, so it's a little bit. Or you don't really taste it because the
sweetness kind of smooths it out.
Yeah.
At the end.
I will probably order a bottle to give to. I shouldn't say this live on the air, but I need to use something to knock my 3-year-old out because he's really energetic. But no, but it sounds delicious. It sounds delicious. And how's your Chardonnay and your Syrah that you just showed? How are they drinking?
They're really good. Actually, I'm drinking right now the Chardonnay 2019. So it's really, really good. I love this pairing with this wine with the food, special fajitas, chicken fajitas.
Oh yeah,
perfect.
It looks very clean. It looks very clean.
Very
I love
smooth taste. I always tell him it has like this butter flavor at the end, which I love. I don't know why I capture that, and I'm not a wine person, but he's like, yeah,
you have to try it.
You just try it, and it's so smooth. But it's fresh, very nice.
Yeah, no, it looks really clean. It looks just like what you said. If I were to be doing something like fajitas or fish tacos, it looks just like that light, crisp style Chardonnay. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're there with Martha, but one of the things that is really huge, like I was talking to Cecilia about, is your core, your family. Besides your partner, your wife, your significant other, a lot of it is family. And now I know your daughter plays a huge role in what she does, and just some of the things that I've seen She even helps you with your labeling, right? She does a lot of even bottling. I've seen a lot of things. Tell us about your partner in crime. Like, honestly,
Yeah, she
Yeah.
really is the partner.
Yeah.
I do the administrative and she does the actual like labeling, and it's really cute. It's really cute to see that,
Oh, yeah.
that a father and a daughter have that bond in wine, if you think about it. It's
It's
not
just
that
family.
common.
It's a family business.
It is.
So
It's cute.
yeah.
No, it's
She-
it's good. It's good. It's good to have that. It's good to have, I think the one thing that is really important is for the consumer to know that it's just not one person or this thing where an individual just does everything magically on their own. It takes a lot of networking. It takes a lot of people to help make whatever's in that bottle. So your wife, your daughter, everybody pitches in to help out, and it's just great to see that it's family. There's this family that is connected with this. And that's the one thing that I love about each and every one of you that I'm talking with tonight is there's this core, this family core that really shows through your wines, what's in that bottle. So it's really cool to hear. And besides the Syrah and the Chardonnay, any other great new releases or anything that is happening right now with your wines?
No, I mean, this is the 2 new releases, but we have a lot of more wines in the cellar. I started doing my own wine in 2013, which is a red blend, the one you see in the picture right now. And
blends.
yeah, I love the blends. I always play with the blends. I make a Pinot Noir blend, which is 80% Pinot, 20% Cabernet. And then actually I have a 2017 red blend, which is Cabernet, Merlot, Zinfandel, and Gamay. So yeah, I have a lot of different type of wines and blends. I love blends.
And I love that unique blend of Zinfandel and Gamay. You usually don't hear those two kind of working together, but it's delicious. It is absolutely divine, your wines. And I'm just so glad to reconnect with you. Like I said, like I was talking with Cecilia and talking with you, it feels like I have family that I've gotten incorporated with. I wish I knew how to make wines. I got to go and visit you guys so I can actually get my hands dirty.
It took me like 20 something years to start doing my wine, actually.
Yeah.
As long as you can drink them, it's okay. We can
Oh,
keep
I
on
can
making
drink them. No, it was great. It's just great to hear that you're producing some wines even through these difficult times, and you have some good quality product in a smaller amount. So thank you so much for sharing, you and Martha sharing your time. I really appreciate it. We will have you. Yeah, we will have you come back in just a few moments. We're gonna steer away for just a few moments. We are gonna have our next guest, and just another incredible ambassador of the industry. And I'm going to bring this individual on. Here we go. And I'm going to
This was what goes through my mind when people ask me how I know so much about wine. I showed up to the vineyard at 3 in the morning, then pressed the juice from the grapes, transferred this juice to barrels, inoculated the fermentation in the barrels. After that, I tracked the fermentation for about 3 weeks, aged the wine for 6 months, bottled it, and now it's ready for you. Here it is.
All right. So I'm going to bring the lovely Nancy Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Hi.
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm super excited to be here. I'm super humble. Thank you so much for the invitation to share my story and talk more with you guys.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your time. Like I was telling to Cecilia and Mario, I know all of you are going through probably the busiest time of the year. This is the most wonderful time of the year for winemakers. This is harvest time. And so I really appreciate you joining us today, the season premiere of season 2 of Breaking Bread. But yeah, Nancy, I'm so glad. And you're coming from another unique region of California.
Yes.
So I want you to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, where you're about, where you're at.
All right. So my name is Nancy Ulloa. I live in Paso Robles, California, in the Central Coast. I am originally from Guadalajara, Jalisco. I was born in Guadalajara, moved to the States when I was 12, and have been living in the States, living the American dream. My background actually, it's in social work. I lived in the Bay Area in San Jose for many years, and back in 2017 I moved to the Central Coast to Paso Robles to pursue a career in winemaking. So here I am, just living the dream, like I said, making things happen, learning, and sharing my wines with whoever that wants to try them. So
Awesome.
that's a little about me.
And so you're in Paso, right?
Yes, I'm in Paso.
So everybody's coming from different sectors. How is Paso? How's the harvest going for you? Like how is Paso doing just in general?
Paso's doing great. We thought that we were gonna be picking earlier than other years, but it seems like everything's going at its own pace when it's supposed to. The yields seem to be lower than in past years, but besides that, everything's looking good. I actually get only one of my grapes from Paso. And the other few that I'm producing this year, I'm sourcing from Etna Valley in San Luis Obispo, which is a much cooler area. I'll be picking those grapes in like early October. And then the other 2 varietals that I am working with are down in Santa Barbara County. So that it's something that I already picked one of those. I got Semillon in 2 days ago from Happy Canyon. And then I have Pinot Blanc coming in at the end of this month from Santa Rita Hills.
Wow.
And I also work at, yeah.
Go ahead. Good. I'm sorry.
I actually also work at a winery. So that's, I make my wine. That's my side project, but I work full time at a winery.
See, and this is a great thing to kind of touch on too, because I think that a lot of times, especially smaller entities, smaller production, it's with these times you're trying to get from point A to point B, and so it's really it's kind of interesting, but it's more of a story when you hear, oh my gosh, this person not only does this, they're doing their wines, but they're working someplace else while they're doing it. And I see so many people in the industry doing that or collaborating together. They're working together to get their product out. Tell us how that is like as just doing that on a day-to-day basis.
Well, it's a lot, I would say. It's definitely a labor of passion and love. In the winery where I work at, it's called Seven Oxen. My main position is the director of sales and hospitality. So my main role is to work in the tasting room, with guests, creating that experience for them. But I also, during harvest, once harvest comes, I'm the winemaker's only assistant. So I help them with all, anything from being out in the vineyard, with picking to, being in the cellar with punch downs, fermentations, analysis, all that kind of stuff. And since we do have the tasting room next to our production facility, I can jump back and forth from one to the other.
Wow, you're doing you're wearing many coats right there.
Yeah.
That is awfully difficult. I can just imagine that. And my hats off to you.
But it's difficult, but it's very valuable to be able to be a well-rounded person when it comes to being in business of wine. Coming down here, when I moved to Paso in 2017, I had no idea what I was doing. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have a formal education to back up what I was doing. And I came in with like open arms to like allow anyone who would teach me to let me come in and volunteer. And then at my job, I told my boss, I'll work for you, but I want you to know that I'm going to ask all the questions. I want to know what's going on with running the business. I want to know what's going on with the cellar. I'm going to ask all the questions about the vineyard. So I feel very blessed to have been able to get all these opportunities, getting an education while I'm doing what I love the most.
Yeah. And again, I think that's the one thing that we all share in common. All of us here today, all of us that I've seen and I've heard, the voices, it's about the passion. The passion, the hard work. You're willing to dive in, do the hard work. You're sacrificing. And I know just as much as everyone else here, it's like everybody has their personal life, their core, and then they're doing what they love doing. And wine just seems like the wine industry, it's not necessarily a Hallmark movie. We all think it's this romantic Hallmark movie where everything's gonna turn out just rosy, but it's really a tough business to be in, especially because you're relying on a lot of it. You're relying on Mother Nature. You're relying on everything, all the elements, and to hear all the sacrifices from each and every one of you is huge. It's a huge testament to each and every one of you of what you do and what you go through on a daily basis to put what you're passionate about in that bottle, and I think for me I don't make wine, but I'm a storyteller, and so I sell the wine. And I think the thing for me is to give that representation when I hold a bottle. I always tell the drinker, slow down. Think about seriously. Being a California native, I know, especially in LA, you're on the 405 freeway during traffic hour. You're in the middle of rush hour and you're trying to get from point A to point B. You're in that rush. With winemaking, it's different. You got to just slow it down and really see the time and energy that was put into that bottle. How many hands have actually touched it, to the person that is actually visualizing. All of you that are talking today, all of you that are visualizing and representing what you want in that bottle for that consumer to enjoy. You don't it's not like you're doing it like, hey, I got to do it 80 miles an hour. You're going, I got to take this time and I got to make sure it's right. And so that is, it's just huge. And I think this is very important. I love that you shared that with the viewers today. And how many cases are on average are you looking at producing right now?
Well, 2019 was the first vintage I produced. I produced 49 cases. 2020 I produced 180 cases, and I'm looking at producing about 250 for 2021.
So another unique, great quality product. This is something that is, again, that you want, like you're thinking of is slowing it down. Okay, I got to slow it down. So because this person is only, this winemaker is only doing such and such amount of cases, 200 cases. And this is the chance to actually taste something that's very unique. And for me personally, I always like to really try to gravitate and try to promote the smaller family, the core entities, because I think you get a lot of unique craftiness. You get this craftiness, this passion that you usually don't get from something that is from a larger market. Not to knock off the larger markets, but it's I always say that the smaller entities is the blood. It's the blood that's pumping the heart, and so it's really nice to hear what you're doing and with Harvest and how you're going back and forth and doing these two jobs. It's really amazing. And I know you got family too, right?
I do, of course.
So tell us about your family. Tell us about your family there.
So that is my partner in wine, I call him. He's my partner in wine, Tim, and his son, Carter. They are everything to me. They're super supportive, and they're basically in it with me. So Tim is also in the wine industry, so I think he fully understands what a commitment it is for me to be making wine, and has been also supporting me not only emotionally, but also with the development of my brand. I met him, we started dating right when I had finished fermenting my first vintage. And so he was in my life since, I started to develop the plan for Ulloa Cellars, from, picking the right name, picking the labels, he saw me crying, so I was exhausted, and I was frustrated because my label designer asked me to actually handwrite with the Ulloa Cellars for my logo. And I was like, I can't do this. This is too much. So he's been there every step of the way. He's helped me with a lot of my marketing. And so I think I'm really lucky to be able to have someone who understands what it takes to be part of this industry. Because earlier when you were saying we know that you have your personal life, and I'm like, what personal life? You go from working Harvest, for 2 to 3 months, which it's basically working every day. And then after that, you go into now let's work on the labels. And then now let's work on starting to order everything to bottle the wine. And then you bottle the wine. And after the wine is bottled, then you go into selling it, And by the time I'm done selling it, it's oh shoot, it's already July, August. So then I have to start all over again. And like I said, being able to have someone who understands the process has been very, I feel very blessed to have him on my side to be helping me out and to continue to help me manifest and to envision what I want to do next.
Absolutely. And I see that, I think it's important for all of us to have those partners there, those people to fall back on to get us through, balance us out on the little teeter-totter. But that's really nice that he's also a part, and he has that understanding of what the industry is like. So that's really cool.
Also, just as simple as having someone to celebrate your accomplishments, Right. I was single for a long time, and I felt because moving to Paso, I didn't know anyone, and so a lot of the time, I felt very lonely. And so now I have someone to celebrate these wins, and to look forward to doing something different. That's a picture of us actually doing home deliveries of my wine. We went all the way from San Jose all the way to Napa to deliver my wine in Napa. So I think that having these moments will definitely they mean so much to me, and to have someone who's willing to put the work in, I think it's invaluable.
Yeah. And then on a final note, besides your partner in crime, it's also good to have those of us that I always thank my lucky stars that my mom is around. She's 85, but our parents are the people that instill values in us. Tell us how influential your parents have been.
Oh my God. So this is a picture of us at a restaurant that I used to work at that's carrying my wine. So those are my bottles in the middle. I took them to have that experience of buying a bottle of my wine. But my parents are my biggest supporters, besides my boyfriend and my sister. My dad has instilled in me very, very, very strong work ethics. We are, we're immigrants. We came to this country looking for, better opportunities. And I honestly, I would consider myself to be like a workhorse, just like he is. Like, no matter how tired I am, if there's things that need to get done, like I'm very like, I'm committed to like my passion and to what I'm doing. And honestly, to see them now understand like what I'm doing, because I didn't grow up with wine around. My friends don't really drink wine. So now I got my dad into drinking my wine. So he's like, okay, like this wine thing is good, like let me try another one. So like now for my wines, like he already has a favorite. He loves my Albarino. And so like it's really awesome to like see like them coming into, the idea of being part of my business as well. My dad is my only, like, he's my only, I say like financial support when it comes to my wine. He invests and then I pay him back. But it's really awesome for him to be like, okay, where are we going to do next? And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I'm your business partner. So like, I need to like, bring in all of these ideas. So I think it's really like being able to give that to them and have them be part of the process. It's like I could have never dreamt for that to happen. So
absolutely, and I think that's important. Like I said, there's that core there that is instilled our traits, our work values, our passion. I always think what my grandfather, what my parents have instilled in me to work through and have this work ethic, to grind their way through.
There's no other way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I just wanted to share, one of my bottles has actually a picture of my mom.
Oh,
and so this is my verdejo, and that's a picture of my mom in the verdejo. And so like that's just to show you like, the family values that I have are so important. And I also include Spanish affirmations in the back to, reflect my culture. So I just wanted to share that with you. Picture of my mama.
That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Nancy, for sharing your time, sharing your story. We are going to bring you back on in just a few moments, but now we're going to get to our final guest, our final winemaker, final wine ambassador. And I always say, when you meet somebody, you always feel like you have met a kindred spirit. And when I talked to this ambassador the first time, I always felt he always just feels like it's your brother. It's your brother. And so I'm so excited to bring on what I call my brother and share the screen with him. So I'm going to do that in just a few short seconds. Right, I have the pleasure of meeting with Mr. Luis. How you doing, Luis?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Still working out the graphic kinks, but how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me on the show again.
Absolutely, man. And I was bringing you on. I'll never forget our first conversation when we spoke. And just how we connected, and it just feels like family. Every one of you that I have on today, I feel like are family members, my brothers and sisters. So thank you for taking the time. I know all of you are super busy right now, but it's so exciting to share the screen with you once again. So, Luis, tell us about what's been happening since we last spoke.
Well, since last we spoke, now, my brand kind of grew a little bit more. I recently bottled 2019 Tempranillo, which we will be tasting today. And then also bottled my 2019 Napa Cab from Oak Knoll District. Oh.
That sounds pretty amazing. Man, like I said, I'm still working out the graphic kinks, but
It's okay.
yeah. So all the new stuff that you got. How's Harvest?
Harvest is it's pretty busy. It's a little spike right now, a little peak. You know, all the whites are coming in and rosés, and then it's gonna slow down a little bit, and then all the Syrahs and Pinots will kick in.
And what have you picked so far?
So far, we picked well, I'm talking about my work because I do have a full-time job.
Right.
Here at work, we picked Gewürztraminer, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir for rosé. We also picked a little bit of Cab, if believe it or not, it was a little bit of Cab we picked, and also some Pinot Noir.
How's everything tasting so far?
Every taste is pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like the yields for the whites is a lot. We're getting high yields on them, so it's good.
Good. It's going to be a good vintage, good year.
I believe so. If you make good wine, if you know how to make good wine, yeah.
And so this is also important to hear. Again, you know, as I was talking with Nancy and Mario and Cecilia, another thing, what you do to get through your day, what you do to get your product out there, you're working, basically, you're doing two jobs. You're working elsewhere, and then you're producing your own product, right?
Yes. So I do have a full-time job here in Sonoma. And then also I also do my own brand for Surcos. And then plus I'm a full-time dad and a full-time husband.
Absolutely. We always say being a parent is another full-time position that we do. We think once we clock out from work, that's it. But we go home and we have to put on another hat. You know, we have to wear another hat.
No, which we do. And luckily I have a wonderful wife that supports me in that way, you know. She still supports me by taking care of the kids, holding down the fort, and doing all the mother stuff, you know. And the wife stuff.
Yeah, it's important to have that partner in crime, you know, that partner in crime that sits
there
with
she
you.
is.
Yeah, you know, and again, everybody has their core, which gets them through their day. And I also know that your kiddo is also a big part of your process, what you do, just as much as me. Tell us about how important he is to your kids in general.
Well, I have my son, he's 5, soon to be 6. And then I have my daughter, she just turned 2, and both of them, I do this for them. You know, I want to make it easy for them, you know. I want them to grow up and be able to take this on if they like. If not, it is what it is.
No, it is. It's important to actually leave them something, to do something for them, and this to show them, instill them something positive. You know, if we do something positive, we leave a mark. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I think that's important.
Well, I wanna be able to. I'm planting the seed so that way they can continue making wine, you know, for our family. My grandpa planted the seed by here as a bracero, and to the valley, my dad planted the seed of having my own brand and making wine, making delicious wine for the Napa Valley.
Absolutely, and I think that's the key thing here. Again, you're going back. If I were to go back and rewind everybody that I spoke with today, including yourself, the one thing is that it's about the passion and about the quality. What am I doing to produce? What am I doing to get the best product out there? How am I getting it out there? And you're doing everything possible, and you're setting the tone. You're setting the tone for the future. All of you are setting the tone for the future.
Yep. Actually, you know, I got here. This is my 2021 Sauvignon Blanc, Dos Lagos. a buddy of mine, Rolando Sanchez, he's the vineyard manager for this, and I'm making a vineyard designate wine from this, which is this right. That's my 2020 right there.
Man, everything looks delicious. Everything looks great. So besides what you have behind you, any other unique releases that we should be looking out for?
Yes, actually, we'll be tasting my 2019 Tempranillo. I have here our assistant winemaker and enologist. They'll be pouring it with us. This is Paz, and this is Chris, and we'll be tasting my wine. Go ahead, Paz. I think I lost him. Here
you guys go.
Did I lose you, Chris? I mean, Corey?
Could you pass that through the? Can you do it like stream that through the airwaves so I could taste it?
Here we go. So here we go. 2019 Tempranillo.
Oh man!
I recently bought it on August 30th, and I'll be releasing this the new year, so January, and then we're gonna be tasting. Paz will be explaining to what's going on.
Cheers.
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 Go ahead, Paz.
So
Salute.
in this, I'm getting a lot of cherry, leather, a lot of chocolate covered strawberries, some cinnamon spice, a little bit of cedar. Just all the good things that you want in a red wine, especially if you're out barbecuing and you want to have something good to go with barbecue or any type of steak. This is the perfect wine for that.
Cheers to that.
Oh
Cheers.
man. Oh man, that sounds delicious. That sounds delicious. Now, all right, so I'm gonna throw something at you right now. Okay, so I'm vegetarian. So what would you pair that wine with, vegetarian style?
Go ahead, Paz.
Have you ever had eggplant parmesan or anything like that? I would throw that with a nice, just thick and hearty, like red pasta sauce if I was a vegetarian.
Yeah. All right. That sounds good. Good.
But then Corey, in January, I'll be releasing my Napa Cab. Let me get it real quick.
Oh man. Why are you doing this to me, Luis?
This will be my Napa Cab right here.
Good, man. Looks good.
There it is.
And have you tasted it yet? Have you tasted it yet?
No, I haven't tasted it. I want to let it age a little bit in the bottle. And this one was just a surprise. When I do it, we're already here.
All right. Yeah, I can just imagine what it'll be like. And how many cases are you producing, Luis, right now?
So I'm under 500 cases. So my Sauvignon Blanc, I made 140 cases, 140, 88. My Tempranillo, I made 80 cases, and my Napa Cab, I made 50 cases.
Wow, that is crazy. So how do you, as far as distributing now on your level, how do you distribute your cases? What is your way to get it out there?
Well, I distribute it. I'm here in the Napa Valley. I'm in the top 10, the 5 of the top 10 restaurants in Napa Valley, which I'm glad they support, and and they love my wines, and they sell great. So mostly that way, and then mostly into direct to friends and family and people that hear about me and they want to come and taste my wines.
That's great. That is totally great, man. And I'm just digging that you're everybody is producing. That is the key thing. They're producing. Your wines look delicious, man, and I can't wait till you send me the next one. I'm ready for the next one. I love your wines.
I want you to come here and do a tasting here.
I will. It is so tough. It is so tough with, especially coming from Oregon, with all the laws and everything that's going on, all the ups and downs, the closures, open, close. So I will get down there. And we will drink wine as all of you. I want to get together with all of you and share share your wines, and we got to do it together. So, but yeah, thank you so much, Luis, for sharing your time. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Again, I know everybody is busy, and now I'm actually going to bring everybody on. I know Cecilia was falling asleep. Here we go. Everybody's on. Let's see. Hey, everybody. Hey. When I hit the Cecilia button, she was like, "Oh shoot, I got to get up."
I'm not gonna lie. I have friends visiting, and I text one of them being like, "I may fall asleep at this might be a first where I fall asleep during an event." I'm awake. I'm back.
It was great. I was just like, I just saw that hop. Like, okay, I gotta get up. All right, everybody. So right now we're gonna do something fun that I wasn't able to do last season, and this is one of the things that I really wanted to concentrate on is I wanted to do something as far as bringing everybody on together and collaborate, because I felt that I wouldn't be breaking bread with everybody if I didn't have everybody together. So that was one of the reasons why I started doing this format and started looking toward doing this format, because I always thought breaking bread is like being around a kitchen table or a table and sharing and talking about life and everything that goes on. And so now it's time to bring every one of us together and share one of my greatest things that I love doing, especially during the holidays. We're starting to get into the fall season. I know it's harvest. We're all thinking about harvest, but now it's also time to think about holidays. And I'm going to go down one by one. So we'll start with Cecilia so we can wake her up. So Cecilia, tell us what your favorite holiday pairing with your wines is. Do you have a favorite holiday pairing or a few holiday pairings that you like to do with your wines?
I mean, I bounce around a lot, right? So just because you're supposed to go from white to rosé to red, lightest to heaviest, I bounce around a lot. But I think one of my favorites, especially because Thanksgiving is I feel like right around the corner, rosé and turkey go really well together.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I definitely first of all, I make a muscat, a dry muscat that is fantastic. So I love starting with that with a nice salad. And then the rosé is kind of like my thing with the actual meal. And then I'll actually end up with one of my Tempranillos, which I'm super excited, by the way, that somebody else on here makes Tempranillo. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
That's what I have right in front of me too, is my Tempranillo.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And that I got to just touch on, because a lot of consumers still steer away from the pink, the rosé. And I think rosé is so versatile. It's so fun. And it's so approachable for everybody to enjoy on the table. So that's one of my go-tos. I love that. So I love that you brought that. Even the muscat, that's something, you just usually you think Riesling, but all of a sudden you're like, hey, muscat works too. So that's great combination. And any traditional family dishes that you do that is unique to the holidays?
Not really. My grandmother was the chef of the family, and she, even though she was born in Mexico City, her family was Czech. So I mean, we pretty much were raised with American traditions, like U.S. traditions, with turkey and stuff for Thanksgiving, and the ham and turkey and steak for Christmas. But she would make it's not Hispanic, but she would make some Czech dishes that were pretty good. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of kaneliki, but kaneliki is really, really good. So that was it. But she passed away in 2012, and right now my mom tries to keep it all together, but everyone in the family has their own opinion of what they want for dinner, and so she ends up making fish and steak and turkey and ham, and I'm like, you're insane, there's 10 of us, we don't need all
Oh wow. What kind of fish?
My grandfather really likes salmon, so she tends to make salmon for him.
Oh man, that sounds so good. That's just great. I love hearing all the different ways everybody kind of celebrates using their own styles of dishes and stuff like that. That's really cool. I usually, to start my Thanksgiving Day feast, I start with a little. I don't know if you ever gone to the grocery store and seen Count Chocula. Ever seen Count Chocula? I start off with Count Chocula, and then after Count Chocula, no, I'm just kidding, guys.
No, but my dad loves the blueberry. My dad is
I just
obsessed with
bought
the
a box.
blueberry.
I just bought a box today from Wally World, and I was like, my wife. I come home, and my wife is like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "I got the family size box of blueberry. This is it, man."
Everyone else is like, "What are you talking about?" Some cereal that is not normal cereal. It's very like artificial.
It's the best. It is the best. The artificial stuff is the best.
Yep.
Now, I see 1, 2, 3 people, excluding me because I'm the host, drinking. And we got to put Nancy on the hot seat because I haven't seen her pull out anything. I see Mario. I see Luis pulling out. Where's your wine? There we go. There we go. We need to have that done. There we go. Pour
Finished
that.
it. That's why I finished it.
All right. So now, Mario, what do? You and Martha do for your holidays? Do you have any holiday traditions? What do you like to pair with your wine?
Well, I mean, as a Mexican family, we definitely enjoy pozole and tamales, all that good stuff.
All the good stuff.
All the meaty stuff. So, definitely we gather and we make those tamales, which is, a piece of work. That's definitely a piece of work. But
how many dozen? How many dozen do you make? How many dozen?
Oh,
Oof.
like una ollota,
Yeah.
I know what that means.
Yeah.
That.
But
No,
he
that-
likes to pair
Oh,
with what? What do you
With-
prefer?
I love chicken fajitas with
No,
wine.
the
or-
wine.
oh,
The wine with the tamales and the pozole for the holidays.
Oh, oof. Yeah.
El Tres Hermanos.
Tres
Tres
hermanos.
Hermanos is
My
really good.
first intake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course the sweet wines, because we sometimes do the sweet tamales.
Yeah.
The
Right, yeah.
piña and the fresa, the strawberry one. So
Yeah.
the Semillon Port,
Semi-important. Yeah.
or the Chantal Chardonnay.
I could even just imagine what it would that sweet wine would be with like sweet potato pie. If you're talking, going in that direction a little bit, that'd be rocking too. So not knocking my blueberry or Count Chocula. I definitely dig everything that everybody's. I'm getting hungry, and I already ate, so it's like that's bad. So what about for you, Luis? What about you? What is your favorite pairing to do with your wines? You have any family traditions for the holidays?
Well, for me is I only have my Pinot Noir, my Sauvignon Blanc Rosé available right now. I just bottled my Tempranillo Cab. So my Sauvignon Blanc Rosé with any like fish tacos, ceviche, aguachiles, anything spicy, even with carne con chile and arroz. It's tasty. I was drinking my Pinot Noir when I'm in the backyard cooking hamburgers and ribs and tri-tip, but now it's going to be my Cab and my Tempranillo. So those would be the ones for the barbecue.
That sounds, and I'm going to, after I talk with Nancy and get Nancy's version and hear her tradition, I just want to tell you, out of the three of you, what I've done vegetarian style with every one of your wines. So Nancy, what do you like to do? What do you like to pair up with your wines, and what are some of your traditional dishes that you like to do for the holidays?
So for the holidays, we also do, I think like for Thanksgiving, when we arrived to the States, my mom attempted to make a turkey and it was super dry. So we haven't tried that again. So for Thanksgiving, we do like non-traditional, like either Mexican or anything. Like we just do like shrimp, and we do like a ham. So the ham I would pair with my Albarino. And I only produce white wines because I like enjoy drinking white wine. So I usually try to get creative with like doing flavors that are out of the usual, with wines that are out of the usual. So we do ham with the albariño. And then for Christmas, we make tamales.
Mhm.
And so my mom usually does like Marta, right? Marta said, like we make a big olla, like we don't even count it. We just, like, we have the assembly line and we do like different flavors. So for one of the flavors that my mom makes, she does like this would be a vegetarian actually, because my sister's a vegetarian, so she doesn't use lard for her tamales. She uses Crisco.
Okay.
So
Okay,
cheese with jalapenos. I would pair my Gruner. Yeah, so Gruner Veltliner has, it has acid. It also has a little bit of, it's a little savory because I do like to stir my barrels when it's fermenting, so it does have body to it. So it's not just super light, and it does have the white pepper zing at the end where there's
Wow.
like, it's a little savory. So that, I think that pairs like perfectly with the tamales de rajas con queso.
Wow, that sounds. All of you just made me like extra hungry now. Oh my gosh, this I gotta go. I gotta travel. You're gonna hear a knock on the door. You're gonna hear a knock on the door, and it's gonna be me and my family. We're gonna be all right. We're here.
I'm inviting myself.
That is awesome. I had a chance, just not to gear away from the holidays, but I had a chance because I had Mario's Three Hermanos, I had Cecilia's Pinot Noir, and I had Luis's Sauvignon Blanc. And believe it or not, Luis, one of the things that because I can't cook, I burn oatmeal. If I'm really bad at cooking. I usually tell my wife, "Okay, we're gonna have breakfast in the morning. What is it? It is cereal. I could pour the almond milk in, and we could have our cereal and cut up bananas." But that's the thing that I do. But one of the things that I tried with Luis's Sauvignon Blanc is pozole, vegan pozole from Trader Joe's.
Wow.
And it was with green chili, and it was absolutely yummy. And I was like, this is fire. So one thing that you can do. What?
Which one was yummy, the pozole or the Sauvignon Blanc?
Oh, it was both. I mean, even just comes out of a little plastic container. They have it. It's in the fresh area, but you just heat it up, and so it was great. It was a great pairing. And so, Cecilia, I had your Pinot Noir, and I did a tofurkey Thanksgiving Day sandwich with a lot of stuff. We shop 99% at Trader Joe's, so I got their tofurkey and their cranberry sauce, and I got a French roll and did the vegan cream cheese, and it was absolutely off the hook. So, hey, your wines could dig some tofurkey. It was good. It was really good. Now for Mario, I said it was the hardest thing because I was really trying to get the Count Chocula to work with the Three Hermanos, but it wasn't going. So I was like, that is not working. But out of all the things, I actually had your Three Hermanos with a Beyond Burger, and I got it from Carl's Jr. So I love the Carl's Jr. Beyond. The Carl's Jr. Beyond Burger, and it's basically the Famous Star. So I had it with the Famous Star Beyond Burger, and it was absolutely delicious. And so,
Thank you.
Nancy has been denying me because she said, "I will send you some wine, but I'm not going to sit
No,
down."
I have no wine. I have no wine. You can't blame me.
I gotta tell you, my favorite white wine is Albarino, so I'm really excited to try your Albarino. It's Albarino and Viognier. I love the two. So I'm definitely excited to taste your wines, and so that was really that was really fun to hear all the different traditions and the different the dishes that you do. Everybody does a large amount. That's really cool. But it's really cool to hear all the different styles, what pairs with your wines. And so the last question that we're going to do today is because we basically are all here. We're kicking off Hispanic Heritage Month, and this is huge. We're really creating voices in the industry and what Hispanic winemakers, Latino winemakers are actually doing in the industry. And when I started my journey into doing the first season of Breaking Bread, or even as an ambassador selling wines in the retail stores, I always thought I want to see more people like us produce out there and more people on the shelves. And it's great to share the screen with all of you and what you're doing and what you're producing. Even in the smaller quantities, it's still getting recognition. It's out there. And so as much as I feel like that I've been doing since I started, I feel like you are paving the way. You're trailblazing for everyone else. Every one of you are doing something so valuable for the industry, for the wine industry in itself. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for sharing all of your time with us today. So I'm going to start with Luis. Luis, what is a great way to kind of celebrate? What is a great way to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month for not only yourself, but for you and your family as well? The people that help you too.
To celebrate. Oh my God.
I just put you on the spot, man.
You did. Well, first I'm gonna say I believe today's Mexican Independence Day, so Viva Mexico, which is good, right?
Right.
But you know what? I appreciate everybody that supports me, man. And it's not easy; it's hard. But we all need to support each other and help each other out, especially the small guys. I'm one of them. But other than that, that's it, man. Just support each other and help each other out. Use your resources.
Right. Yeah. And this is a great way now that, especially for some of you that didn't know each other, you guys can kind of work together, even in different sectors. You can kind of now, hey, I got another sister or brother in this area that we can kind of collaborate and talk with one another and really get our product out there together. Nancy, how do you feel? What do you do to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month and you and your family?
I think that there's two ways. One, it's like what you're doing. I really thank you for the opportunity to amplify your voices, and so being able to recognize other winemakers who are Hispanic. And I'm gonna say also I am a huge supporter of female Latina winemakers. So Cecilia. Girl. But besides that, I think it's also really important to pause and recognize all the hard work that we do, not only for ourselves but for everyone around us, because it's really easy to get caught up in the hustle, because that's what we're doing. We're hustling. We're working for someone else and then working for ourselves and actually making things happen. And I think that it's I know it's important to get things done, but it's important to recognize and to celebrate all the wins and how much we're advancing and how our work can actually uplift other people, to support them, to actually invite them to be part of the industry as well.
Yes, I love that. Love that. So important. All right, Mario, Martha, how do you do? I see your hand. Hold on, Luis. What do you like to do to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month? How would you like to bring that into your family? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It looked like you froze on my end. I was looking okay, did it freeze? No, how would you want to celebrate, or how do you celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month?
There we go.
For us, honestly, we celebrate Hispanic heritage all year. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
that's honestly the truth. Because Mario and I come from Mexico, and his story just coming from this very small rural town, coming here, working his way up, from the vineyards to this cellar to actually making his wine,
That's a huge
we
thing.
have to like celebrate that on a yearly basis and our culture. And we love Mexican food and gathering people
Right.
and just honoring them. And Mario also did the wine producing because he saw how hard people work out in the vineyards, and he had to go through that.
Oh, yeah.
That he's like, I need to do something. I have a vision where maybe I can change mentality from other people out there that, oh man, they just
That's
work
it.
in the vineyards. They
Yeah.
just work picking. They do the job and that's it.
And that's why it's what I start my own label,
Yeah.
because I want to change that.
He wanted to
Yeah.
change that, and he wanted to have another vision from people, So we celebrate Hispanic heritage throughout the year.
Yeah.
Every day,
and,
every day.
Every day.
And on a personal note, my daughter, she helps with the labels, but that's also something that we're kind of like putting in her mind and her head. This is for you. This is for you to outgrow it,
Yeah.
outgrow your dad, and continue the legacy. Honor the
Right.
culture, the heritage, and we have her in folklorico, and to
Follow the
just to follow the traditions and the
Tradition,
culture.
yeah.
So that's honestly, we always celebrate it.
Mhm.
We're not ashamed.
That's you just hit it right on the head, and that was really nice that you brought that in. That is important note that it is important not to just celebrate it one day. We always pick out one day, or we're celebrating International Women's Day or this day, and it should be like when you have this type of thing, it should be this is every day. We should be recognized every day for the work that we do as individuals, and we do so much. You do so much. I mean, I am, I am really honored and blessed to be sitting here with every one of you because you do such amazing work in what you do, and I cannot say it enough. And I hope people that are watching this could actually see this is something that we should be take note of these people right now, because they're doing something really special and continuing great work for others. They're trailblazing for others. So that's very important. So I love what you said, Martha. I love what you said there. And that was very important. So thank you for saying that. Cecilia, how do you, as far as I know, we just talked about celebrating every day. How would you want to recognize the Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, I agree. And actually that's exactly what I was going to say, is that I celebrate every day too. I mean, this industry, first of all, like Latinos are such a close knit community. You have instantly something in common and you want to help each other out. And it's just a great community. I mean, I know that there's other countries and other cultures that don't necessarily have that. And it's something to celebrate, something to take hold of. I do it all year. I mean, any type of event, whether there's a guy that was here in Sonoma County trying to create a wine festival that was approachable for the vineyard workers that don't necessarily, they're nervous or shy about going and trying good quality wine, maybe because of the price point, or maybe they feel like they're not educated enough. Any event that promotes the Latin community, I have a hard time saying no. I mean, I'm exhausted and I couldn't say no to this.
Mm-hmm.
And just educating people. I mean, educating those outside of our community that they're like, well, what does it mean to be Mexican? It's like, we have an amazing culture. I mean, everyone's super friendly, even though you're exhausted, even though these vineyard guys are working, day in, day night to get the fruit off the vines, like they're still happy to receive you and like hang out with you and, joke back and forth. They're just always in such a good mood. So
Right.
I would say that I celebrate all year, and any way that I can do to do my part with educating the non-Hispanic community, but as well as getting those that feel uncomfortable with their level of where they are in wine to get more comfortable. Like I have a guy that I know that came to Wine Taste, and he's like, look, I work for a winery that was just bought out by this big cult brand, and they kept us on board, and they're doing their part with teaching us everything. And I feel like I need to learn because now I went from making a $20 bottle of wine to a $200 bottle of wine. And I don't feel like I'm worthy of working here. Like, will you teach me? And I'm like, sure. You know, he brings his wife. We sit down, we drink a couple wines, we talk about what's happening in the industry. And I take the time to really break it down for him in a language that he understands, and he's developing his palate, and just letting him gain the confidence to trust his palate and his gut instinct when it comes to wine. And you know, there's all different types of price points out there, but there's really no right or wrong answer. I mean, as long as you like that wine, and then you should drink it. You should continue to drink it.
Right.
Yeah, for us, we're all small, and we're all, you know, putting our hearts and souls and sweat and tears and laughter into every single bottle. But I mean, I just celebrate it every year. I mean, every day, because it's just so great. It's a great community. It's a great culture, history. You know, we wouldn't be here without Latins, without, you know, the Hispanic community.
Yeah, you're right, and every one of you said something that's very vital, and the keynote is that if you do not continue to celebrate it every day, then it's not going to be it's not going to be celebrated with everybody. And so your voices are huge. Your voices are huge by saying, "Hey, we celebrate this. Let me bring you on. Let me help you know about wine. Let me teach you about wine." We're all trying to do something that is positive in a broad way rather than limit and go, okay, we have limitations. You know, we fall in this category. It's nice to hear that everybody's doing something that is representing something in a positive way, if that makes sense. I'm using my dad brain a lot of times. I talk with my dad brain, and people catch me and they're like, Corey, you just repeated yourself 10 times. And I'm like, I am like running on fumes with this 3-year-old. I'm trying to do my best, but I honestly, you know, every one of you said it so well, better than what I just said. And again, without you, you know, the industry would not be continuing to grow. You need people like you out there doing what you do for it to grow. So thank you for doing it. And thank you for all appearing on here and sharing your time. And if anybody could drink your wine, everybody could get out and get your wine. Luis, how could we get your wine? Where can we get your wine at?
You can get my wine just by messaging me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll ship it to you or deliver it if it's close by. If not, there's a few restaurants in Napa. I won't say the names, but you get them in Napa.
Say it.
Cecilia, how can we get your wines? Where can we get your wines at?
So you can come visit me. I'm in Forestville, which is a small little town of 3,000 people, right outside of Healdsburg. So in the heart of Russian River Valley. So I would encourage you all to come taste. I also have a short-term rental on the property, so you can actually come and stay with us on the vineyard property. Yeah. So Nancy, when you're in town, and then also on my website, I do ship everywhere. If I can't ship compliantly to your state, I actually do have a third-party shipping company that will that can handle that state. I do try to stay away from Utah and from North Dakota, but you know, everyone else I can ship to.
Yeah, that's difficult. And you also, one of the things I wanted to touch on with Cecilia too, do you still do the bike tour? The bike tour?
So sorry. Somebody just set off the 5 dogs I have in the house, so I apologize.
No worries.
I do an ATV tour. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. Like we have a Kawasaki mule that we take people through the vineyard, and we have a table out there, and we'll do a whole lunch experience for you. Cool.
And I did already rent out your property. I rented it out for the rest of the year, so no one else is going to go.
Hey, I have plenty of wine to share.
Nancy, where can we get your wines?
Well, I sold out on my wine, so the next vintage will be ready. In I think like April 2022.
Okay.
In the meantime, people can log on to ulloasellers.com or bossladywine.com and sign up for my mailing list so that they can get updates for when the next one will be ready.
Yes, and if you follow me, I have attachments to every one of these ambassadors that I'm sharing the screen with today, and I can connect you with them. And Mario, how can we get your wines?
I don't know.
Come over.
Come over.
We're located here in Calistoga, so obviously by coming over, visiting us, or on the website, soloriofamilywines.com, via Instagram, sending us a direct message, and if you go to a restaurant here in Calistoga as well.
Awesome.
But that's how they can purchase the wines.
Awesome. So go out, get their wines, find them, message them, do what you can to get their product. And definitely, if you need to message me, you can message me, and I can get you in contact with every one of these ambassadors, these amazing ambassadors with their amazing product. Luis, Cecilia, Nancy, Mario, and Martha, thank you so much for sharing the screen with me tonight and opening up season 2. Hopefully, I didn't create too much of a catastrophe with my producing skills, but I will get it down. But yes, thank you so much for sharing, and we will be connected. I will be coming to you soon. I will be coming to all of you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank
Corey,
you.
Thank you.
thanks again, Corey, for the invite.
No problem. Thank you for sharing your time, and good luck with the rest of your harvest season. Good luck with every one of you with the rest of your harvest. I know it's going to be tough, and I know you guys are working hard, but thank you so much.
Yes. Good luck to everybody too. Have a good harvest.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight for the season 2 premiere of Breaking Bread with Corey. A lot I'm learning. With the new format, the getting the graphics down. But it was amazing to hear all of their stories. Luis, Nancy, Cecilia, Mario, Martha. I really appreciate all of their time and their energy that they've dedicated to coming on here. And again, they're family. And so please reach out. Please reach out to everybody if you can. You can get their information through me if you need to get in touch with me. And stay tuned for the next episode coming September 29th. Still celebrating. We are continuing our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. And like Cecilia and Mario and Martha said, is we are celebrating year round. So celebrate year round by purchasing these bottles. If you can, go visit them. They're amazing people, amazing ambassadors for what we do. So until next time, thank all of you for joining us today, and stay tuned for promo number 2.